What I said was it's not time to trade your silver for gold yet. There will come a time to do it when the ratio corrects. It's an anomaly where the ratio is. For 5,000 years, the ratio was 16 to 1.
Right.
The big money is leaving the equity market and buying copious amounts of silver and gold, more so than we've ever seen, not just the central banks. And what could possibly go wrong, right? Well, so in terms of junk silver, I was able to buy because this guy doesn't hedge his position and he let it run all the way up. He said, you take it all, I'll sell it to you below spot, which I bought it. There are good values out there still. I don't know how long that lasts for, but you look at the Silver Eagle and it's anything but. You look at every major online company out there, I'll probably be the cheapest on Silver Eagles, but you're not going to find any major company out there that will sell you Silver Eagles in quantity probably at under $7 an ounce over spot. Just like that, when 3 weeks ago they would have been sold to you for $4 over. And things are changing very, very rapidly right now. There's still good deals out there, but I don't know how long that lasts for if this continues. This is all controlled by the primary distributors, right? There's about 6 or 7 of them. Miles Franklin was nominated by one of those primary distributors to be one of 27 U.S. Mint authorized resellers about 20 years ago. At the time, it was Prudential Vaish, who got bought by Jefferies. And coincidentally, Jefferies just came out and said their next target for gold is 6,600. They know gold very well. But those primary distributors buy from all of the major mints. And when the mints run out of product, those distributors have everyone begging them for product. They jack up the premiums not only to buy, but also to sell. Right now, the U.S. Mint, they're not making any 2025 gold buffaloes right now, and I don't think they have any plans to do so. They haven't made any platinum eagles in 3 years. So premiums on things like platinum eagles, if you can find them, are north of $200, way north of $200 to buy platinum, which is way lower than the price of gold, right? So percentage-wise, way higher. In fact, I look at one of the biggest distributors in America. I look at their balance sheet right now, what they have, or their inventory sheet. No platinum at all. Zero. It says platinum maples, sold out. Platinum Valcambi bars, sold out. When you talk about the buffalo and the eagle, you have 11 states and many more considering it that are talking about legal tender laws. Almost all of them mention U.S. gold and silver coins as legal tender. The demand for the gold coins made by the U.S. is way higher than anything else. But you're right. Gold is gold is gold. It's kind of like this. You're having a party, a big party. You're having the Taggart family reunion party that coincides with the Super Bowl. Your team is in the Super Bowl. You got everyone coming to your house, 200 people. Your wife says, Adam, you need to go to Costco and buy soda and hot dogs and hamburgers for the barbecue. So you go there and you're thinking, geez, I'm going to have 240 people. I need 500 cans of soda. So you go down the soda aisle and you see Coca-Cola and you see generic brand soda from Kirkland. That's 80 cents a can less than the Coca-Cola. You say, well, geez, if I just buy half Coca-Cola and half Kirkland brand, 250 times 80, that's a couple $100. I can buy the hot dogs and hamburgers with that. That's what you do. You have a great barbecue. You got 2 buckets sitting outside, half with Coca-Cola and name brand soda and half with Kirkland brand soda. Now, in the end, which bucket do you think will be emptied first? And you're right. If you're dying of thirst with a hamburger in your hand outside at a barbecue, you'll drink the generic soda. They all drink the same. But the American products in this country have demand far greater than anything else. And when you add into it the legal tender laws that are being passed that say and mention specifically American coins, there's just a demand for the American coins, both gold, silver, platinum, and well, gold, silver, and platinum, that they can't keep up with. They are the model of inefficiency. They are horrible at keeping up with demand, and as a result, the primary distributors jack up the prices. So you can buy other items, but in the end, if you want the greatest amount of liquidity and demand, and I think when people buy stuff in this industry, they don't think about that enough. They don't think about the backside of the trade. It's very easy to be penny wise and pound foolish. And I think that you can have the greatest thing in the world, but if it lacks demand, what good is it? You want something that someone says, yeah, I want it. Absolutely, give it to me. I don't want to have to haggle with you about saying, no, but this is really great too. And so whether you're talking gold bars from Costco, which are also getting expensive and hard to get, or Canadian Maple Leafs or Krugerrands, they're all an ounce of gold. But the real demand in this country is for U.S. mint products, and unfortunately, the mint that produces it does a very poor job at providing adequate supply. And in particular, when you go through a period of time like we saw for the last year plus, where there's tepid demand at best by the mainstream, they have no incentive to jack up supply until we get to a position like this. This is exactly what we saw for 4 years during the pandemic.
Yep.
13, 14, $15 premiums on silver eagles, $200+ buyback premiums on gold eagles and buffaloes. And now the mint just isn't making enough buffaloes. And you look at the amount of silver eagles they made this year, in my mind, they'll be a collector's item, literally like the 1996 silver eagle, where they hardly made any. They've hardly made any. Premiums are only going to go higher on American made coins. I wouldn't do that. I'd cost average. Cost average is the only way to smooth out the uncertainty curve. You know, we're all waiting for the other shoe to drop. What if it doesn't? What if it keeps going higher? We are breaking through a 45-year cup and handle, the strongest technical formation I've ever seen. And I do think you should definitely build a core position and then cost average your further acquisitions. And right now, the best value by far is pre-65 constitutional silver. It's not even close.
Really? Okay. In terms of the cheapest way to buy an ounce of silver?
Cheapest, and during the pandemic, it was the second most highest premium, difficult to get item, period, for
And
4
why was
years.
that?
Because you can't reproduce it. It hasn't been made for over 60 years.
Okay.
And the utility that it gets, 14 dimes is almost exactly 1 ounce of silver. So if things ever really were to get to a very high level, or the dollar was really something that was sliding precipitously, in theory, you'd have 14 transactions with 14 dimes versus one transaction with a silver
Right.
round or silver eagle
Right.
or silver maple.
The way to
But
buy
if
your
I'm not,
bread.
if I want 1 ounce coins, there's six major mints. U.S. too expensive, maybe. Canada, Austria, Australia, South Africa, United Kingdom. It's the Britannia, the Kruger, and the Kangaroo, the Philharmonic, and the Maple Leaf. Those are all better values than the Silver Eagle right now, even though I like the Eagle better. What I said was it's not time to trade your silver for gold yet. There will come a time to do it when the ratio corrects. It's an anomaly where the ratio is. For 5,000 years, the ratio was 16-1.
Right.
It's coming out of the ground at 7-1. There will come a time to trade your silver into gold. But yeah, I wouldn't. Look, I think gold's going to go higher than anyone thinks possible. It is being reintegrated into the monetary system 100%. So, you know, to put all your money into silver, if you're buying precious metals, it is a better value, and it does have an angle. I still think I wouldn't ignore gold. And even though it's gone up, you know, high, I think it's going to go much higher. Not straight up, but I really do think it'll go higher than people think. If Judy is right, and if I'm right, and they're going to peg it to the back end of the Treasury market, it has to be much, much higher. Luke Groman says they'll let it go to 7 or 8,000, and then they'll revalue it from a higher level, so as to not have to revalue it from such a low level. Luke Groman is as smart as they get, so I wouldn't discount what he says either.